Hello and welcome or welcome back. My name is V and today we are back with yet another World of Warcraft housing update. Now, just a couple of days ago, I published a video where I was actually talking about Final Fantasy XIV and the things that I wish were available in FF14. And I was trying not to be biased and to ignore the subtle jabs that the WoW dev team has put into their latest blog posts when it comes to the FF14 housing. Now we're gonna look into this one, and I think that there is going to be a little bit more about the housing. I even saw some previews of videos. I didn't want to watch them because I wanted to take a look at them with you. So if you're new here on the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave the video a like, and let me know in the comments if you're excited for the Azeroth housing, if you're going to be having a house on your own, and most importantly, whether it's going to be on the Horde or the Alliance side of things. Now, let's read into it. Azeroth Beautiful, a look at housing interior design. Welcome home, adventurers. In our previous housing article, I have to interrupt myself here just for a second, and I have to say how it really does sound like they're in a way greeting all the people who stopped playing WoW a little bit after the great WoW exodus when the whole Blizzard things happened, and I can't help but feel a little called out. And you know that meme where a car is like pulling up in the driveway and there's a welcome home cheater written on a bed sheet? It kind of feels like that a little bit, but I'm gonna put that aside and start reading now. Welcome home, adventurers! In our previous housing articles, we shared a high-level overview of our plans and philosophies. This time around, we are getting concrete and discussing specifics for decoration systems. It allows us to not only show off some of what's possible, but to answer some of the common questions and concerns we've seen come up from the community. A couple disclaimers. 1. This article only focuses on interior decoration systems and only in a single room. There's still plenty to cover beyond the basics of decoration, but that's for another time. I mean, that's good. It gives us something to look forward to. We're going to show you a lot of work in progress assets and UIs, as well as using some terms that are not finalized, so please focus more on the functionality and less on the details of just how specific things look or sound just yet. In other words, it's not done yet, so this is just a preview. Alright, with that out of the way, let's talk about decoration in housing. Getting down to the basics. Decorations has two primary modes, basic and advanced, and you can freely toggle between them at any time while decorating with a key press. Basic mode allows you to quickly place or remove objects and move them around while keeping their movement somewhat constrained to make putting something together quick and easy. It has a number of rules in place to help with this. The core can be moved around on the ground and will move on top of things as it bumps into them or down to the ground as they reach the edge. This lets you move around and have them interact in the expected way. The core can be rotated around its up axis with rotation snapping to 15-degree increments so objects don't accidentally unalign with other objects as you rotate them. Okay, I'm not really sure what this means, and I think that I should probably watch the video. Okay, so that's the 15-degree angle. They move it around. Okay, they didn't show the collision moment, but like they said, it's going to stop. Basically, they're not gonna have this non-collision moment that is present in Final Fantasy XIV, where you can have things overlap with each other, which allows for a certain amount of creativity when you kind of want to put two separate things together and make them look like one. From what it sounds like, this will not be possible and things will not be able to enter other things. I think this is what they're trying to say. Basic movement for object placement. All UI shown is subject to change. The core has collision with other pieces of the core as well as the floor, wall, and ceilings, and players are unable to move the core through other things. No losing things in the walls. I mean, that's good. That's just one way to do things. In Final Fantasy XIV, I think that, you know, a lot of people in the community are used to being able to kind of put these things together. And like I said, it allows for some creative things, but it also allows for things getting lost. And once you have a few things kind of laying on top of each other, it's difficult to set them apart unless you want to put them back into the inventory, of course. The core will align to the floor, wall, or ceiling, depending on what sort of decor it is. Example, a rug will align with the floor, while a painting will align with the wall. If you move it around a corner, it will continue to align properly. So like Sims. This also means the core will snap to the ground if you move it off something. Okay. Alright. It looks like you're gonna be able to put it over the wooden pillars as well, I think. I like how the square grid has like a subtle fade out. I really enjoy that. Certain types of smaller decor will parent to certain types of larger decor when placed on top of them. This means when you move the larger decor, the smaller decor moves along with it. Oh, that's great. This allows you to, for example, place books on a bookshelf and then move the whole shelf instead of having to move everything individually. I mean, to be expected, but still, it's nice that they're, you know, reiterating that. Okay. Oh, we're gonna have a freaking field day. Okay. Cool. Example of items being placed on a parent object. Players can show a grid and enable snapping, which will snap decorations to the point on the grid, helping you keep everything neat and tidy. It will even shrink down when you're placing something of a smaller surface like a table. But that's so restrictive, we hear you saying. Don't worry, just switch to advanced mode and feel the true power at your fingertips. Advanced mode efficiently turns off a lot of the rules in basic mode and also offers up additional tools of its own as well. Decor, okay, so this is the difference. Decor has no collision in advanced mode. Want to push a chair into the wall? Enjoy. Okay, that makes sense that that's an advanced thing. I'm pretty sure, I actually don't know if FF14 has an advanced and simple thing as well. I think this is just something that's available to everyone. Okay. Advanced clipping. Oh, okay. Alright, that makes kind of complete sense that they've allowed that as well. I'm glad. There should be something for everyone. You can enable gimbals, little 3D controls on objects, which lets you move objects on all three axes, including floating them. Oh, this is cool! Floating them up into the air without having to jump through hoops. A gimbal is a pivoted support that permits rotation of an object about an axis. So you can have like a table floating around. I mean, if you're like in a house of a mage, let's say, or something like that, that's really cool. Like a cool little roleplay thing. I really want to see a floating table, to be honest with you. Yep, can you leave it like that? Oh, you absolutely can leave it like that. Oh my god, that's fun. Oh, that's fun. A different gimbal can be used to rotate an object freely on any axis as well. Right. Okay. Alright, that's fun. Cool. Cool, yeah, I like that. Oh, okay. I don't know, there's something really cool about it. Finally, a third gimbal can scale an object's size up and down within some generous limits, making something smaller or giant. Oh my god, this is gonna be so fun. I wonder if it parents the smaller objects as well. Probably. No? Doesn't? Oh, never mind, it doesn't. Oh my god, they look so... so generous. This is the limits. Love that. Advanced mode lets you interact and design things with very specific controls to make whatever your heart may desire. Internally using this, employees have taken bushes and made them into garland for their fireplaces, constructed a prow from a bed, or made paint buckets into small spice racks for their kitchen. Now this is nice. This probably was a fun day at work. It's like, here you go, you get to mess around with WoW housing very early. How cool is that? We've been dying for housing, us too, trust me. In addition to the decoration modes, we wanted to call out some other functionalities and choices we've made. Some because they are cool and worth sharing, and others because they directly answer some of the questions we've seen since the first article went up. For newly created assets, as opposed to legacy ones from existing art, we are allowing players to dye them a variety of colors. So if you find a chair but wish the upholstery was a blue instead of gray, you can make that change. But if the blue doesn't match the stain of the wood or color of the metal now, well, you can fix that as well. Personally, I would like to know more about where we're gonna find these items. Are they gonna update the previous content and the expansions with maybe some shops or something like that? Like, imagine being able to raid the Ice Crown Citadel and getting like a bed that looks like a Lich King throne or something. It's just my imagination a little bit, but how cool would it be if these things were to happen? Makerspace own with living color. I mean, that's nice. That's just really, really nice. And there's like a little bit of shading shown there as well. Love that. And that fire looks so cozy in this video. Look at that. It's really, really, really promising, isn't it? I do love that you can color anything. Well, maybe not anything. Maybe there are certain items that you can't, but this looks nice. Oh, it's matching now. Oh, that's cute. But that's not all. Jesus. It's not just decorations you use to customize your space, but the wallpaper, ceiling, and flooring as well. You can mix and match these to elicit various cultures and vibes, or just make up your own. You can take things a step further too and just use partition objects to build walls where none were before, letting you make rooms with arbitrary interiors. House layout from above. Kind of looks like one of those like creepy little board games where you get to like move around and enter different rooms and solve mysteries, and it's fine. It looks good. I love it. Speaking of mixing and matching, we saw a lot of questions around what would be allowed in terms of decor. Inside your home, you can decorate however you want. If you want blood elf wallpaper with a stone roof and wooden floor, go for it. A larger multi-purpose room with more items and decor. I also would like to know more about the different sizes of houses that are going to be offered. I don't know if this is going to be different size, if we're going to have something like apartments. But I doubt it, honestly, because I think since everybody is allowed a house, there's no reason to have an apartment in the first place. How many rooms are going to be allowed, or if this is something that you build for yourself, if the houses are, by default arranged into rooms, or you put walls in there. There's a ton of questions that I have. Before we go outside, while we're not really talking about exteriors in this article, it's worth mentioning that the outside size of your house has no bearing on how big the interior is. If you want a huge mansion outside with just one room inside, or a tiny shack on the outside but a dozen rooms inside, you do. Oh, really? So your place can look differently from the outside than what it is from the inside. Oh, that's nice. Why not? It kind of reminds me of that Harry Potter tent thing where, the tents are small, but you walk in there and they're huge. It's nice. Why wouldn't you have that fantasy? A bedroom with a little extra bling and plenty of books. It's cozy. It's really cozy. Like, it might just be biased because, I've been playing WoW for years, but I really do like the art style, like the whole Disney-ish thing. A little bit, I don't want to say outdated graphics, because I don't think they are. I personally think that it's an art style, and I am kind of glad that they're sticking to it, and this is just looking mega cozy. I can't wait. I look forward to sharing more with you as we continue to give you more insight of the new housing system. Kind of want to see what people have to say about this as well. You guys have been cooking, it seems. Looking forward to hearing more. I'm so hopeful. I loved housing in EQ2 and all the sub-customization. I was scared this would be all presets and another garrison situation, but y'all are getting me hyped, right? Like, this is something that people have been wanting for years. And honestly, I'm just low-key sad that some people will never get to experience it, but, you know, what can you do? Like, some people have been playing WoW for like 10, 15 years, and, you know, they'll never get to see this because they either stop playing or whatever. But yeah, better late than ever, right? Nice. It seems like we'll have a lot of freedom on how and where to play stuff. I deeply hope you will give us race-themed items. I mean, this is a bit of a, you know, odd request, but that's fine. It's pretty awesome. I wonder how many tier it costs us. I think they said that everyone's allowed it. I mean, it's not just Garrison 2.0, big win Blizzard. I mean, the community is forgiving. Like, it took a long time to forgive garrisons, but, you know, like, I to this day don't think that they're that bad. I think for the purpose that they serve it just fine, but I think people were expecting something more like housing. It already cost us the fated patch with all 3 raids that would happen at the end of the expansion. They already stated as much. Yeah, maybe that's, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, the manpower has to, or the folk power has to, you know, go somewhere. And if this is the necessary sacrifice for us to get a long-lasting thing like this, where another whole community will get something to play around with, I think that's fair. Makes grabby hands. I genuinely hope that besides being a way to display and reminisce in your collection, housing will not grant any substantial gameplay benefits. I don't think it would grant any. Not sure WoW can survive another garrison-like feature, an anti-MMO shift that disincentivizes players from engaging with the open world and networking with other players. One such feature is one too many. No, I think this is unnecessarily negative, and I say that as a cautiously optimistic person. It should be purely cosmetic. Adding gameplay bonuses and functions would really sour the experience. Yeah, I don't think they'll do that. Shouldn't it be beautiful, Azeroth? What? Oh my god, grammar, come on. This looks a lot more customizable than I was expecting, and I was already apparently expecting more than most cynical players. Looking forward to it. Very impressive. It's actually a breath of fresh air to be reading World of Warcraft comments and for them to be like, oh yeah, this is actually a win, I like this. You know, people actually being like, yeah, this is what we want. Which just goes to show that once the community gets what they wanted, even if it isn't done, and they made a ton of disclaimers because obviously because of, you know, somewhat of a fear of a backlash, which the World of Warcraft community is clearly capable of. It's kind of nice that people are just accepting, okay, it's not done, and they're listening to feedback, and I'm gonna leave some feedback as well. That's good. That's really good, and I'm hopeful. I think the comments are great. I love the wholesome you know, kind of beginning of the housing communities gathering, and it's not looking toxic. Obviously, some people are still very cynical about it for a good reason, but I think overall this is looking great, and I'm all for it. What are your thoughts on the housing? Are you excited? Is there a feature that you would like to see in the WoW housing that they haven't spoken about in the blog, or something maybe that they have spoken about and you are all for it, or something that you don't like? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Leave a like, and I will see you next time. Take care, and bye-bye.